Yo, Amazon private label dropshipping is a very slow and cumbersome process. No, it's not. Yes, it is. We're going to talk about why. All right, let's go.
So what's up, guys? This is 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗡𝗏, and you have reached the 𝗏𝗏𝗥𝗡𝗏 channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're going to find all your answers right here. So
now, why is Amazon private label dropshipping a very slow and cumbersome process? All right, and before we even get involved in that and we deep dive, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Now we can get into it. So if you guys have been keeping tabs, there's multiple ways to start dropshipping on Amazon. And private label dropshipping is pretty much the way that I pioneered here on YouTube. If you guys have been looking for it, a lot of the videos will have this mug that pops up. So the reason why private label dropshipping is much slower and more cumbersome is because you're doing everything that you would do with FBA minus the actual FBA part. You're just not getting the inventory purchased in bulk and then sent into an Amazon warehouse. Okay, you're still sending them out one by one, but you still got to do all the product research. You have to do all the titles, the bullet points, the product descriptions. You have to get all the back-end search terms. Everything has to be done properly. That takes time. Okay, whereas if you're drop shipping from places like Walmart, Home Depot and stuff, you can literally have all those items put into your store in a matter of minutes. I could have hundreds of items uploaded in minutes. When it comes to private label drop shipping, you got to get your pictures on point. You got all this stuff. Like it might take a few hours to craft a really good listing. Define a product, craft a good listing, and then get it pushed out. And on top of that, you don't have any crazy sales ranking. Like you're creating a new product, essentially a brand new listing that doesn't have much sales rank at all, and you're hoping that you're going to start making money with it. It doesn't work that way, and that's why it's very, very slow. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts that you have to get right in order to make private label drop shipping profitable for you. And we're going to break down a lot of that, actually, if not most of it. So let's go ahead, let's talk about the first order of business, which is the product research part. All right, stick with me, let's go. Private label dropshipping is great, except for some of these things, and product research is going to be that number one thing. Okay, it's a pain in the ass. All right, like product research in general is going to be a pain, but for private label dropshipping and FBA, it's even private label FBA, it's even worse. Okay, because when you're dropshipping, you got to make sure that the competition isn't super fierce, but there's some competition. If you go and you see, you're going to be using tools like AMZ Scout Pro or Helium 10. You're not going to be using web scraper app or the other arbitrage software. Sorry guys, it's escaping me right now, but you're going to be using tools like I said, AMZ Scout Pro, Helium 10, Jungle Scout, things like that. If the first page is saturated with FBA sellers, that item is going to do horrible for you more often than not, unless you're running a ton of PPC and you have a US supplier that can get it shipped in a matter of days and not weeks. When you're doing private label drop shipping, more often than not, your products are going to be coming from overseas. They're going to be coming from international suppliers, and that slows the process down immensely. It's going to make things very, very difficult to rank higher and do more money than the next seller. Okay, which is why doing the product research is so important, especially finding US-based suppliers that you can use to get those products shipped out even quicker than than the overseas guys. But there's so many things that go into it. Like you got to have the proper keywords. You got to be able to structure your listings properly. There's so many things that you're going to need to do right. And the biggest thing is going to be making sure that your product photography is on point. Especially if it's a product that you believe is going to do very well, you should be getting it sent to your house, so that way you can take some photos and then put those up in your listing. Now you can use manufacturer photos, a lot of people do, but if those photos are very grainy, very blurry, they're pixelated, it's not going to be the best representation of the product that you're trying to sell. Okay, and that adds more time. It adds a little bit more complexity, because then you got to get the product, you got to find someone to do the product photography. If you don't have a white box and a decent camera, I mean, you could use the iPhone and pull it off, but you want to have someone who's really good at product photography, take your photos, if you guys, suck at finding strong keywords, you're going to have to do that. There's so many things that you're going to have to do when it comes to your product researching and constructing that listing properly. All right, and it's just not something that you're going to want to deal with in the beginning. And if you're someone who's very lazy, you shouldn't get involved in it. You really shouldn't. This is not the drop shipping method for you. You should go with the wholesale or the retail arbitrage method, because this is very time consuming. All right, this is very time consuming, and you're going to have a lot of things right. And now we're going to break down the other part, getting those items seen. Okay, because that's another thing entirely. Let's go. How do you get your product seen if it doesn't have a sales rank? Because Amazon is just a giant search engine with a collection of products that people are combing through 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If your product doesn't have any sales ranking, you're more than likely going to have to run PPC to get it up there. That's what you would have to do with private label FBA, especially when it comes to launching your product. Now, you're not going to have to run near as much PPC when you start with private label dropshipping, and really you don't have to run any PPC. But if you want to get sales quicker, a little bit easier, you got to run PPC, and you're going to have to figure out the best keywords and long tail search terms, and there's so many things that go into it. And you're going to have to find out what's right for you and what's right for your particular product, especially when it comes to the niche that you're diving into. Niches that are more saturated, you're going to have to run way more PPC, and you're going to have to be more accurate when it comes down to it. You're not going to be able to just kind of go willy-nilly and throw everything all around and hope for the best. You're going to spend a lot of time within the first couple of weeks, cultivating your keywords, finding negative keywords, which ones make you the most money, which ones don't make you the most money, tossing the ones out that don't make you any money, keeping the ones that do make you money, so that way you can get your A cost down. Initially, your acquired cost of sale is going to be very, very high. It's probably going to be 50, 60, 70%, right? Especially when you're running PPC. It's going to be, hey, 70% of your sales are coming from PPC, which is, pay-per-click, Amazon's, advertising platform. Same as like Facebook ads, Amazon has it, it's called PPC. So, sorry, I should have told you guys that from the beginning, but, I assume that you understood. Now, it can be a double-edged sword. It can either help you or hinder you. But if you notice that the majority of your sales are coming from PPC, you're going to have to change it up a little bit. You got to figure out why that's happening, because over time, as your sales rank increases, your A cost will naturally drop. Okay, and as your item ranks higher, you're going to see that number go from 50, 60, 70%, hopefully down to 20, 10 to 20%, maybe even single digits, depending. Now, you don't always have to run PPC. Once your item is selling naturally, you can generally get away with just leaving it, depending on if you want to make all the money in the world. When you're FBA, you want PPC because the sellers are competing with you, and you also invested a lot of money buying that item in bulk. When it comes to private label dropshipping, you don't necessarily have to care about that as much because you don't have all those items in bulk. You're just buying them as they come along, and you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of listings. So who cares at that point, right? So that's something to think about right there. Now, guys, hopefully this has helped you out and kind of explain why it's a little bit slower than the other methods. It's still very lucrative. I do it. I absolutely love it. It's what I teach. I have a link in my course to my course below if you guys want to check it out. But I do everything I can when it comes to private label dropshipping to make sure that I'm successful. And you guys should too. You need to take it as a real business and not just something to goof around with. It's a little bit easier than going the FBA route, at least less capital intensive, I should say, not necessarily easier, because it's pretty much just as difficult to construct a good listing as it is with FBA. The only difference is you don't have the benefit of having prime shipping and Amazon promoting your listing to the top because it is FBA. So that being said, man, hopefully you guys have found this informative. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links below in the description if you guys want to follow me on social media. So be safe, be smart. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.